Ask any player at any level whether they have what they consider to be a weak or uncooperative finger. Every single one will say yes, and there's a reason for that. In this video, I want to show you an exercise that you can use to strengthen and re-coordinate those weaker fingers. And maybe we'll even take a look at what finger I consider to be the real problem child. Let's check it out. Like one of my favorite players of all time has always suggested, whenever you have a weakness in your playing, whether it's a right hand, left hand problem, the best thing you can do is to design an exercise or a phrase that focuses in on that problem, really zeroing in on the issue, and spend some time doing that. The beauty of having your own exercise with it is that, well, it's yours, and you never know, it may end up being something cool later on that you could use in a song. So for this video, we are talking about left-hand fingers that sometimes don't cooperate. But one thing I have noticed is the ring finger, although it being very strong with the index, this one, have you ever tried playing anything that goes between this one and this one consistently back and forth? Ring and pinky? Again, there's the common problem. These are the two most people blame. So this exercise does focus quite a bit on different combinations of these three fingers. And it starts off like this. So what I've got is I've got a low E, 7th fret on the 5th string, and keep in mind I've got a 7-string guitar here, so it doesn't look like the 5th string, but it is. Then I'm going to jump up an octave. I'm going to play the 9th fret on the 3rd string with my ring finger. So 2 E's in a row, but here's where the problem area really gets zoned in on. I go between ring and middle, ring and pinky, and then ring and middle again. So if you're looking at it in terms of fretboard numbers instead of note names, by the way, E, D sharp, another E, and then an F. So you got three semi-chromatic things going on there in a row, but you'll have 7 on the 5th. On the 3rd string, we're going to do 9-8, back to 9. And then 10, 9, 8, 9. Now that 8-note grouping really is the problem, is going to be the problem area of this exercise. I didn't want to just do that though. I mean, that's really getting to the point, and which is, helpful. But I also wanted to create something that maybe sounds pretty cool too. So what I do is I use this as my main 8-note grouping, and I'm going to continually revisit that to get to work on it. But what I'm going to do after every round of that is I'm going to interject a different ending. So the first ending here begins with the pinky. Now we're coming out of... So the pinky's got to do a bit of a shift, which again might be a technical area that you want or need to work on. So there's a pinky shift. So I'm doing G sharp at the 13, F and E, 10 and 9. Then on the D string, I'm going to do 12, 10, 12, 9, which gives us D, C, D, B. And then I'm going to land on G sharp on the 5th string, 11th fret. So there's a, isolate the ring finger there for a bit. So now, we've got the first half, or the first chunk of the exercise there. And already very much centric around those three fingers. Yes, the index finger's in there too, but most of the technical trouble spots that you might run into have already been sort of looked at. Now, as promised, I end up going back to the initial 8-note grouping, so we're going to do that. Now you have this. So now I'm going to put a second ending to this, which will provide some more variation to what we're doing. Now this one is not hugely focused on ring and middle and pinky. It just is a kind of a cool sounding lick. This is also based on what the majority of this is based on, the E Phrygian dominant scale. This isn't meant to be a theory lesson, so we're not going to go too far into that, but you're going to see another G sharp. So G sharp, A, B, and back down. Skipping over to the third string, F, E, or 10, 9. Final note will be the 12th fret on the 4th string, D. So there's my second ending. I've got this now. First ending. Back to this. Second ending. Okay, now to wrap this whole thing up and actually, make it something that you can loop and practice, I end up redoing the whole first two fragments again, which is this. So the main idea and the first ending, they come back, but now I'm going to switch entirely and I'm going to come up with something that focuses on ring and pinky, but with a stretch, a little bit of a stretch involved, and harmony-wise or chord-wise, this is going to focus more around A minor, and it's going to go like this. And I do it in octaves, so 5th string, we're doing 12, 11, 12, or A, G sharp, A. On the 4th string, we're doing 10, 14, and then 10, 13, 14. So you have. Then we're just moving up an octave. We're going to start on the 3rd string, 14th fret. We're doing A, G sharp, A, or 14, 13, 14. Jumping to 13 on the 2nd string, this is going to be 13, 17, or C and E. And then we're going to do C, D sharp, E. And again, there's that little bit of a stretch there. So, there we go. And then the final part is going to be a mostly chromatic ending. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ramp up from C, skipping only one note between it and the high A. Now what's going on there? I'm doing C, D, and E flat on the 2nd string, 13, 15, 16. And then it goes from 12 all the way to 17. But I only have 4 fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up on the index finger and use it for both 12 and 13. Then I'm going to use my remaining 3 fingers to do 14, 15, 16, and then I'm going to double up the pinky to do 17 as well. So the shift lands on the beat. And there it is.